Omegas. Welcome to this extended edition of the Esoteric Initiatory Podcast. In our initial exploration of Belial, we touched upon some foundational concepts surrounding demonology, decoded the relevance, and provided a practical guide to the Goetia. Tonight, in episode 2.2, we delve deeper into the ancient mysteries of the Goetia and the hidden truths surrounding the Key of Solomon and the Lesser Key of Solomon. This episode will explore the origins of these texts, their profound significance in Western occultism, and the layers of secrecy and misinformation propagated by dominant religious traditions. Let us unravel the deeper currents of demonology and Solomonic magic, tracing its indigenous roots and uncovering the suppressed truths that Western esotericism seeks to reclaim. The mystical gateways, the Key and the Lesser Key of Solomon. The Key of Solomon and the Lesser Key of Solomon, also known as the Clavicula Salomonis and the Lemegeton Goetia, are not mere historical artifacts but living grimoires. They serve as powerful gateways into ceremonial magic. These texts have captivated seekers of the arcane, particularly those interested in black magic and the dark arts. However, contrary to popular belief, King Solomon did not author these books. Instead, they are compilations of manuscripts, fragments of ancient magical knowledge that predate the Abrahamic era. Occult scholars and practitioners assembled these texts under the guidance of powerful demonic entities who temporarily possessed their human collaborators. These spirits channeled their knowledge into what became two of the most influential grimoires in Western esotericism. The true Key of Solomon is rumored to reside within the Vatican, withheld from public access to ensure its secrets remain beyond reach. What survives are partial yet potent versions of these texts, safeguarded remnants of a more extensive, ancient magical system that served as the foundation for occult practices and esoteric traditions across cultures. Decoding the Goetia, insights from the Ordo Sinistra Lvx. The Goetia, contained within the Lesser Key of Solomon, presents a list of 72 demons, each with unique attributes, seals, and corresponding rituals. These entities represent a complex hierarchy within the demonic realm, extending beyond the simplistic archetypes often portrayed in popular culture. The O.M.S.L, the initiatory source of this podcast, sheds light on the incomplete nature of these grimoires, suggesting that their omissions are intentional safeguards to protect the uninitiated from unleashing forces beyond their control. The Goetia is one facet of a broader demonological framework. Ancient texts such as the Book of Deadly Names and the Book of Evil Spirits document other demonic hierarchies, hinting at the vastness of this occult science. Evidence uncovered by researchers indicates that portions of these texts were suppressed or reinterpreted by dominant religious authorities to align with their doctrines and consolidate spiritual and political control. Indigenous origins and the linguistic connection. A striking revelation from the sources of the O.M.S.L is the linguistic link between the Latin used in Solomonic grimoires and African languages. This connection underscores the African origins of demonology, suggesting that these practices were absorbed, adapted, and recontextualized by Western traditions. The suppression of these indigenous roots, largely by Abrahamic religions, is a narrative of cultural erasure and spiritual subjugation. Historical accounts and linguistic studies support this claim, showing that the rituals and incantations in these grimoires carry remnants of ancient African spiritual systems. These systems were systematically appropriated and obscured during the rise of Western colonial powers and their associated religious institutions. This cultural theft not only stripped the practices of their original context, but also framed them within a fear-based narrative designed to demonize and discredit non-Abrahamic spiritual systems. Solomon, myth or archetype. The very figure of King Solomon, revered in Judaic, Christian, and Islamic traditions, is questioned by O.M.S.L. Rather than being a historical king, Solomon emerges as an archetype, a symbolic representation of the magician king, a conduit for an era when magic and the manipulation of spiritual forces were integral to governance and societal power. This reframing challenges centuries of Abrahamic dogma, which appropriated Solomonic imagery while simultaneously suppressing the magical traditions associated with it. Archaeological evidence and critical biblical scholarship suggest that Solomon's historical existence is tenuous, reinforcing the idea that his portrayal as a wise and powerful king was a construct to legitimize religious and political agendas. This construct allowed religious authorities to claim ownership over magical knowledge while marginalizing those who practiced it independently. Practical engagement, caution, and respect. For those drawn to work with the Key of Solomon or the Lesser Key of Solomon, O.M.S.L. practical yet cautionary advice. Read the texts in full. Understanding their context is crucial. The key prepares the mind and spirit, while the Goetia delves into direct engagement with demonic forces. Study incrementally. When exploring the 72 demons of the Goetia, focus on 7 to 9 entities per day. Intuitively absorb their descriptions, seals, and energies. Avoid casual experimentation. Do not print seals or conduct rituals without proper initiation or guidance from experienced practitioners. Missteps can lead to harmful consequences. Eschew psychedelics. Altered states of consciousness can amplify the text's potent energies, increasing the risk of spiritual traps and psychic harm. The commitment to this path demands discipline, respect, and a willingness to confront one's deepest fears. Only through careful study and guided practice can the seeker unlock the full transformative potential of these texts. Ancient suppression and modern reclamation. The suppression of Solomonic magic reflects a broader pattern of control and obfuscation. The rise of Abrahamic religions marked the decline of accessible magical practices, replacing them with dogmas designed to consolidate power. Historical records show that religious authorities often repurposed grimoires, integrating their potent practices into their own hierarchical structures while vilifying their use outside sanctioned contexts. For instance, medieval European monarchs and clergy were known to use elements of Solomonic magic for political gain, even as they condemned similar practices among common people. This duality highlights a deliberate strategy to control access to spiritual power. The Vatican's possession of ancient grimoires, including potentially the original Key of Solomon, is a testament to this effort to monopolize esoteric knowledge. Yet, the resurgence of interest in these grimoires signals a reclamation of this suppressed knowledge. Practitioners today are reconnecting with an ancient lineage of power that transcends the limitations imposed by religious orthodoxy. By studying the history and cultural significance of Solomonic magic, we can better understand its role in resisting spiritual and political subjugation. The incompleteness as a strength. The deliberate incompleteness of the grimoires is a testament to their wisdom. They require the seeker to move beyond surface-level understanding, engaging deeply with intuition and spiritual guidance. The missing pieces are often transmitted orally and preserved within esoteric lineages. This method of preservation ensured that only those deemed worthy, initiates prepared for the responsibility, could access the full scope of their power. The natural world as a guide. Our sources also highlight the role of animals and natural phenomena as ambassadors of the demonic realm. Encounters with certain creatures, such as crows, snakes, and owls, can act as signs, guiding the practitioner on their magical journey. This connection between the demonic and the natural world suggests an ancient harmony disrupted by modern perceptions. Historical evidence shows that such symbolic relationships were integral to pre-Abrahamic spiritual systems, where animals and natural forces were revered as messengers of divine and supernatural entities. The suppression of these beliefs by dominant religious powers further demonstrates the systematic effort to erase indigenous spiritual frameworks. Expanding the scope, a broader legacy. The legacy of Solomonic magic extends far beyond its grimoires. It represents a bridge to a pre-Abrahamic worldview in which humanity, nature, and the spiritual realm were deeply interconnected. By reclaiming this legacy, practitioners are not only reviving an ancient practice, but also challenging the systems of control that sought to erase it. Exploration and careful study, the seeker can uncover layers of wisdom embedded within these texts. The Ordo Sinistra Lvx continues to illuminate these pathways, offering insights that resonate across centuries and cultures. A return to the roots. As we conclude this extended exploration, let us reflect on the resilience of Solomonic magic and its practitioners. The Key of Solomon and the Lesser Key of Solomon are not relics of the past, They are living gateways to a transformative spiritual practice. By reclaiming their wisdom, we not only reconnect with a suppressed heritage, but also challenge the narratives that have sought to obscure it. If it is your calling, approach these texts with respect, humility, and an open heart. Eyes to see, ears to hear. Morbid Angel. The secrets they hold are not merely tools of power, but pathways to deeper self-understanding and connection to the unseen forces that shape our reality. Subscribe for the introduction to the Luciferian Goetia by Michael W. Ford and the Luciferian philosophy of the O.M.S.L. up next. Until then, stay defiant, question everything, and may the black flame illuminate within you.